Hey, everybody. It is Chuck Barone on Tuesday, July the 23rd, 2024. Another day of freaking madness in this country. I got to say, now we have politics taking over. Financial news is kind of shoved to the side. Pretty much every kind of news. If you look on your news feed, on your phone or wherever, it's all politics. And it's such a crazy ass scene right now. You got the Team Red, all of now. First, they wanted to bash on Biden. He was too old for the job. Biden says, I'm too old for the job. I'm going to step down. Now they're like, you can't do that. Well, wait a minute, man. And the other team, let's just face it. When you have so many people who voted in primaries, gave the nomination to Trump, or not to Trump, to Biden, and now you're just going to, no, we're going to give it to Kamala. I don't know how that really works. It would be interesting to see how many of those people who voted for Biden in that primary would vote for Kamala Harris instead. It's going to be interesting. I would like to comment on Tesla. Not much of a thought here, but Tesla, Elon is so politically active now. He's making a mistake, I think, that businessmen should never make. Tesla is an EV, right? That's their project. That's the product. And their cars are awesome, especially the first ones that came out. That Model S was tight. Now some of these new ones, I don't like them so much. But anyway, the problem Musk is creating for himself is people who buy EVs are typically Democrats. The number one state buying Teslas is California. When you're so politically active as Musk is, he's turning off all of these would-be buyers who would buy a Tesla, but won't because of his political activism. If I'm a Tesla shareholder, I'm going to send him a note with 3 words, or maybe a few more, like, shut the bleep up, bro. Sell cars. The Republicans can take care of business on their own. Give them your money if you want to do that. $45 million a month is quite a donor. You'll get the same clout you would get, except now you're on Twitter every day just talking. Well, you want to piss off your audience. You want to piss off the people who would buy your product. You're showing everybody how to do it. Anyway, I babble on. Forgive me, guys. Before I get rolling on the show, let me take a half a minute. As always, welcome everybody to the show. Special shout out to my friends on the chat here, the usual suspects, Smoke and Attila and Wolf, and we got my friend Paradiddle from Down Under, Ghazi on today, Billy on. We got a few people rolling here. Nice to see everybody on the chat. Keep it going. Let's talk about these markets today. Well, today is going to be one of those, I was telling you guys when we were talking yesterday, the data is going to be pretty thin at the beginning of the week. And it is. We got existing housing sales today, which were, oh my God, it was a shit report. But the market's kind of on hold today with a little bit of a negative bias. The Dow falls 57 points, sitting at 40,358. The NASDAQ falls 10 points, 17,997. The S&P falls 8 points, 55 on the S&P. So really pretty much a non-event as far as what the stock market did today. Stock market waiting for real data to come. It'll start tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, the big finish. We're going to get PCE numbers later. We're going to get second quarter GDP numbers. We're going to get jobless claims. We're going to get a lot of data that's important. So the week's going to be quiet these first couple of days and blast off at the end of the week. The bond market today rallies up a little bit with yields falling. The 10-year falls 2 basis points, sitting at 4.24%. The 2-year falls 3 basis points, 4.49%. The bet now is that the Fed will commence cutting rates in September. I think the only thing that's going to hold the Fed back from cutting those rates is the fear of Trump. He's already been out there just hinting at it, but how he can be when he gets pissed, right? So the bond market in kind of a holding pattern as well. Let's see what the data brings and what happens with all these knuckleheads on the Federal Reserve. The dollar today rallies up 13 basis points, sitting at 104.44 on the index. Not much of a change, but it's still a decent number for the dollar. It's managed to maintain that 104 pretty consistently with a couple of strikes up higher around 106. Dollar's still strong. Hopefully it'll stay strong. I'm a strong dollar guy. Precious metals today rally up even in the face of a stronger dollar, which is kind of rare. Gold rallies up $12.40, sitting at $2,412.60 for an ounce of gold. Silver, the laggard today, up only 10 cents, sitting at $29.19. We got a big challenge coming up for silver. It needs to bust through that 30 and stay there. That's the resistance. That's where we're having our trouble. Need to get past that number on silver. Oil today falls 93 cents, $77.47 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. Oil is quickly falling back down to our target between 70 and 75. I've been saying all along, I really believe that's where oil wants to trade. Looks like it's on its way back there. Bitcoin today, a little halt in the rally. Bitcoin falls today down $2,324, sitting at $65,823. Still a good strong number for Bitcoin, but now it's going to have the same challenge at $70,000 that silver is having at $30. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these can break through, if either of them. Hold on. All right, let's talk about news today. News we need. Interesting day. So we got the numbers on existing home sales. Existing home sales month over month fell 5.4%. Horrible number. And here's the really crazy part about it is springtime into the summer is supposed to be the house buying season. This is when people buy houses, right? Not this year, guys. Crap. Nobody buying houses. And amazingly, prices up again. Prices up on housing across the country. A new median price in the USA today, $426,900 median price in the US for a house. I wish I could say it was great news. As a homeowner, I'm happy. It's nice to see my house going up in value. But it's going to be great for my heirs someday because I'm never leaving. But this is a number that just tells me, again, we're becoming a two-tiered society as far as home ownership goes. You're going to have people who own property and people who never will. And I guess it was always like that, just not in the numbers we're seeing today. Young professionals, young people just starting out in their careers and getting their lives in order, starting families, they got very little chance to buy a house. Maybe if they have wealthy parents who can help them with a gigantic down payment. But really, it seems like the only people that are buying houses these days are people who are sold a house and now need to buy another one, or the investor class. And even the investors are slowing things down because these prices just can't stay this high, guys. It can't stay this high. I remember back in 2008, my nickname in the office was either Dr. Doom or Dr. No. Median price in Vegas was $330,000. And my question to everybody was, do you believe every bellman and busboy in Vegas is going to own a $500,000 house? Do you believe that? And the answer obviously is no. And guess what we're getting right back to? Now, prices are way above what I thought was an outrageous median price. I would not be shocked. I'm not exactly sure what the catalyst is going to be in this real estate bubble. It's obvious that higher rates and higher prices is enough to shut some people out of the market and slow sales down. But it's certainly not enough to lead to a giant price correction, which I expected to happen, guys. I really did. Now you remember me telling you guys, you got high interest rates, you got high prices. One or the other has to come down to support the other. So either rates have to come down to support a higher price, or prices have to come down to support a higher rate. I'm not always right, guys. And apparently, wasn't right about that one because it's just crazy how the prices just keep going up, even though half the population can't afford to buy a friggin' house. And I'm telling you right now, if I was starting out, if I was in my 20s, I had a great decade in my 20s. I made a lot of money, but I would be crapping in my pants looking at a price like $426,000 for a starter house. I mean, it's obnoxious. Vegas used to be a town for a long, long, long time, from the 90s to about 2005 or so, from even in the 80s to 2005, where you could buy a brand new house for 100 grand, starter home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 car garage, the basic starter house. You could get that for 100 grand. Then it went up to 200 grand, and it was still okay. People could still afford that. Then it went to 300 grand. Now 400, 450 grand. It's just bananas, guys. Tell me really is there really that much of a slam on the supply that prices should be going up like this? I don't see it. It's just really sad news for the real estate market. What I've been doing for the last 30 years, I just don't see how it's going to correct itself and get itself back on track. So I guess the best thing to do is get yourself a relationship with the investor class, because they're going to be the ones buying houses. Listen to this, guys. More than 1 in 3, so 33%, 35% of Americans now have a second job or a side hustle. Let that sink in for a second, guys. 35% of Americans. Hey, from Nashville. How you doing, John? 35% of Americans don't make enough money on their primary job, or unhappy enough with their primary job that they want to try to find something else. They want to try to start a business, whatever their side hustle is, trying to help make ends meet. Because listen to this, guys, okay? Not only do 1 in 3 have side hustles now, right? But listen to this, 40% of Americans say they don't make enough money to make ends meet. They worry about money constantly, don't make enough to make ends meet, doing without, cutting back on driving, cutting back on eating, cutting back on the necessaries to pay utilities, which are going up through the roof, to pay rents and mortgages, which are up through the roof, to pay insurances, which are up through the roof, to pay taxes, which are up through the roof. Guys, it's crazy. They're squeezing people out of having any kind of pleasure in their lives. You can't afford to buy food, and you're cutting back on what you're eating. Oh, well, I better not buy the steak. I better buy the chicken, or I better buy hamburger and ground steak instead. It's just like, come on, guys, what kind of friggin' life are they giving us here, right? But nonetheless, everybody just kind of goes along. It's like, well, let's not really hold our politicians accountable for any of this stuff, because, hey, they're tough on abortion. Hey, they're tough on guns. Hey, they want to do DEI, whatever the frig. We've let the extremes take over. So now you got the extremes on the right, the extremes on the left, 2 frickin' batches of knuckleheads who now are calling all the shots. And the middle, where most of us live, guys, most of us live in the middle. Shut out. You're the voice of moderation, you're the traitor. You call out your own party for something, you're the traitor. It's just ridiculous. They're, the free speech people eat the bugs, right? Jesus, guys. And it seems like we're getting to that. And it's just friggin' crazy. Crazy. People can't afford to function, working 2 jobs. What does that do for the family that everybody's so, we have to take, it's all about the family, it's all about the children, it's all about blah, 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 bullshit, man. It's all about making money. Let's call it what it is, right? More Americans now. The numbers are skyrocketing up. Americans applying for secondary passports, trying to get passports from passport-friendly countries so they can create an escape, I guess, out of the United States. It can cost $200,000 or more to get a secondary passport. Wealthy Americans like crazy, especially wealthy Jewish people who are freaking out about this anti-Semitism they're seeing in this country now. right? We're going to support the burning, the crazies, and we're going to get rid of the people who help us. It seems like everything's upside down, man. There's no voice of reason anywhere telling us, hey guys, let's fix this, right? Let's get this dialed in. So we look at inflation for this month or last month in June. Interestingly, the only thing prices went up on in June was food. Perfect. So grocery store prices were up, eating out prices were really up, cooking at home up, everything up on food. But interestingly, pretty much everything else down. Energy prices down, used cars really collapsing, new cars. Seems like every other category that they measure for inflation all coming down in price. But the stuff we all got to have every single freaking day going up in price. Just keeps getting better, guys, right? I also read today, listen to this. I'm going to call this today the gloom report because that's what it is. They measured it since 2021, and 97% of jobs, existing and new jobs, have failed to keep up with inflation. They said most jobs, most employees who work for a salary, their actual take-home pay adjusted for inflation down 8.5% since 2021. No wonder everybody's so pissed off, man. I mean, this is the coming apocalypse, okay? You're going to make you're going to try to shove the entire middle class down into the lower classes, make it impossible for them to buy a home and build any equity, which I've been telling you guys, and I'm telling everybody that ever listened to me about finance, that owning your own home is the foundation of wealth. That's the way a lot of wealthy people got there, through real estate, because it grows very quietly. It's hard to get the money out to spend it all over the place. So real estate is the foundation, and now they're shutting people out from building that foundation. It just keeps getting worse. Jobs not keeping up with inflation. 1 out of 3 Americans having to work a second job. It just keeps going. And now Americans making their freaking making their escape plans, paying up to 200 freaking K to get out of the country. Great. Matter of fact, here's the one that tells you where we're really at. This one made me laugh. Buyers, people, citizens, us, are now keeping their phones, their telephone, an average of 3 years. Because you know how Apple used to be. The new iPhone came out that have the friggin' line around the building, right? No more. When they started charging $1,000 for a frickin' phone, everybody just stopped buying brand new phones every year. And that is something I think that will continue. That might force Apple to have to raise prices. Either that or they're going to lower them to get market share back. It's just stupid. Everybody's so friggin' greedy that they keep forgetting about the consumer, the customer, the person who's going to buy their product. Elon Musk forgets about the person who's going to buy his product because he wants to be a friggin' politician. Corporate America forgets about the middle class, destroying the middle class, eating them out from the middle. Can't afford food, can't afford to go out, can't afford anything fun. Now, can't afford the basics. 40% saying they don't make enough to pay their friggin' bills, guys. Tell me where this leads. Tell me. You think that this is going to end with a happy ending somewhere, no matter who the frig is elected president? You think that Kamala Harris or Trump could really be the ones to save this economy? I got to say, I got my doubts, guys. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the day. I will say this, guys. Later this week, we're going to get a lot of important data. Make sure to show up here. We're going to talk about some stuff in detail. These last few days, I've just had to kind of put some fluff in because I haven't had any real hard data to talk about. But later this week, we'll get the PCE number. That'll give us a very good indication of where we're going as far as how soon will the Fed start cutting rates. We'll get second quarter GDP. We'll get jobless claims. We'll get consumer spending. A lot of important data coming later this week. I hope I see you all here. I know I'll see my big 5 on my chat in the beginning. But anyway, guys, let me get off here before I get to 20 minutes. That's it for the day. I appreciate, as always, thank you to all of you guys who tuned in, all of you guys who show up every day. And make sure to hit the thumbs up, guys. It helps out our algorithms, helps us get our video in front of a few more people. Our views are going down, guys. We need to help pump this stuff up. Please hit the like button, guys. Anyway, back tomorrow to bring you the news you need. Till then, guys, take care.